Greetings, it's Vaygrim, back with another episode of Mod Guide. This time we're taking a look at Simply Jetpacks by Tonius11. This mod got thrusted into the spotlight recently because of some accusations from one developer, Tonius. And I'm not going to go into the details, but basically, when you have one person making outrageous claims and the rest of the modded Minecraft community, including the likes of Zeldo and King Lemming and so many more, are backing up Tonius and saying that there was no wrongdoing, I feel confidence in stating that those guys know what they're talking about. If King Lemming is backing something up, he does his research, he knows what he's doing, and he's very, very careful about his reputation. So I've decided to throw my weight behind Tonius11 and do what I can do, show him some support in the only way I know how, by taking a look at this wonderful new mod and to see what it has to offer. Now, I do think that jetpacks that were powered by RF is something that's been missing from the Redstone Flux environment, community. And this is definitely filling the gap. I do think this mod has a lot of potential, so let's dive in head first. Now, Tonius has got 4 different tiers. Well, technically 5, but we'll go into the 5th weird one in a minute. He's got 4 different tiers of of jetpacks here. There's the Leadstone that starts you off. It only stores 25,000 RF, but it only uses 20 RF per tick. And it's the slowest of the jetpacks. It has hover mode, but it's not actually a 100% deadlocked in the air hover mode. You slowly drop. And the higher quality of jetpack, the slower the drop speed is, which means you have an easier time staying at level flight. So it encourages you, not only are you getting faster speeds and longer battery flight times with higher levels of jetpacks, you also get improved hover capabilities. And I think that's a genius idea. Leadstone Flux Capacitor, a leather tunic, and then he's got these leadstone thrusters, which are not too complicated, but they do require 2 steam dynamos. So this thing is not exactly starting game first night cheap. You're going to have to get some resources for this. And I think that's good. That's the Leadstone jetpack. He's got one step up, the hardened. Uses a hardened flux capacitor. Hardened thruster, which of course requires 2 compression dynamos. And then the next step up, the Redstone jetpack. This has actually got, I wish they'd put comma on these things, 2 million RF, but flight time is 150 RF per tick. But it has better hover than the previous 2. This is a Redstone Flux Capacitor, Electrum ingots, an iron chest plate, and redstone thrusters. Those are reactant dynamos. Then you have the top end. You have the Redstone Jetpack. The Resonant Jetpack, I'm sorry. That is 10 million RF, 400 RF per tick flight time, but this is the fastest jetpack in terms of speed, and it's got the best hover in terms of decay of your altitude. So you have an in-bar chest plate, resonant flux capacitor, 4 Enderium ingots, and you have a resonant thruster, which is made from 2 magmatic dynamos, another flux capacitor. So yeah, there's definitely some resources that have to go into these. These are not just going to get crafted up on your first night. You're going to have to be careful and manage your resources to get these early game. And I think that's how it should be. It's a good balance. I think Tonius11 has done a good job on that. Now what I've got is this big bullseye. And the bullseye, the entire point, is an exercise. I've got some armor stands. On them is a jetpack and some free runners from Mechanism. Now the only point of these things is they kill fall damage. I think this is going to be a better, more accurate test if I do it in... Nope. There we go. If I do it in actual survival mode. So in this chest, I've got angel blocks. What I'm going to do is do a quick kind of arbitrary count to 5 as I'm thrusting straight up, and I'm going to drop the angel block. This will give us a at least vague, semi-scientific example, visually, of the speed difference. So, if I hit F, default key in the Resonant Rise, in the YogsCast Complete pack, I've got my jetpack enabled. So now, if you see, right there. But I have used a little bit of my power. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not super scientific, but it's semi-scientific, and I'm going to take it. And get another one from here. Turn that on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can see there's already a difference in altitude. Grab another one. Stand on the mark. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, yeah, there's definitely differences in speed on these things. Even if this is not the most to-the-second accurate test, it does show and prove the point. Get on the mark. Level out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there you have it. That's at least a semblance of comparison between the speeds, the altitude climbing speeds that these jetpacks have. So you can see that there's not a huge difference between the first one and the second one, leadstone to hardened. But there's a much bigger difference from 2 to 3, and an even bigger difference from 3 to 4. So I think that's very interesting. I think that's very cool. Yeah. So that is at least a comparison, so you know. And all of those use, like with this one, I can actually, let me show you. First of all, I will turn on hover mode. Then go up, and you do decay. Without hover mode on, drop like a brick. So with hover mode enabled, there's a slow drop. It's actually pretty quick on the bottom end one. Get the top end one. Turn on hover mode. I turn this thing on. You see the difference? I have no hands on the keyboard, no hands on the mouse. I'm not pressing anything. This is me purely idling down. This is the decay rate. So this is very usable. I could still very much do any work. Whoops. That's not right. It's going to be somewhere. I'll just put it back there. So that is an interesting feature in the way that he's balanced it and the way that he's encouraged you to keep upgrading your packs. Is not only the altitude speed, it's the hover decay as well, which I think is interesting. I think that's a really good idea. So, turn that off, fall to the ground, and we can put that back on the stand. Yeah, I messed up that bottom marker. I shouldn't have messed with it. I forgot. Just one hit on an angel block will move it. But that's okay. You get the point. You'll also notice that in hover mode, when you have that enabled, those are two separate keys, by the way. When you have hover mode enabled, your climb speed is slower than without it. And I think that should be that way. Now, there is technically a fifth kind of a jetpack here. There is one that he calls the tuberous jetpack. It uses a tuberous capacitor, just a couple of tin ingots, some string, and redstone. But this thing is super dangerous. Allows a short and deadly flight. Must be worn on the chest plate. Note, do not use this if you do not wish to die. So here's the thing, right? This thing has a 1200 RF battery power. And it uses energy at 20 RF per tick. The only problem is that you can't actually empty the battery out. If you ever empty out this battery completely, it explodes. So what I have made is a little bit of an obstacle course. Go around the corners, go up. Now here's one thing. I'm using free runners from Mechanism to negate fall damage. Free runners have step assist, which means going up steps like this will be a lot easier. But unfortunately, I think that's one of the best situations. Long fall boots do work from the Portal mod, but they take wear and tear. And I know that these free runner boots have enough battery power to last a long time in terms of fall damage. So that does skew the test a little bit, but I still think, shift right click, that it makes it a valid one. Now there's no on-off switch on this thing. I have a tuberous jetpack strapped to my back. I have no way of controlling when I use boost on it. I have to be very careful. And I did run this course 5 times. I died the first 3. So, there's no timer on this. There is only me having to be careful. I have to navigate the course. Whoop. Now here's the hard part. And I get to the finish line. Here's the thing, though. Basically, 4 or 5 more quick boosts. Actually, I think that's specifically 7 quick boosts. And I would have exploded. So this has almost no use on it. I basically have a bomb strapped to my back. You can use these things for very short durations, but I really would not suggest that you push it too far. So, this has been Vaygrim taking a look at the Simply Jetpacks mod by Tonius. I really do think that this is a great start, and I think he's done a wonderful job at striking balance and striking need to upgrade within the mod itself. I really do see the urgency for wanting to upgrade to the higher tiers as quick as possible and replace your older jetpacks. The only thing I would request of him is a method to actually get your old pack and actually upgrade it as a part of the new recipe. But I'm not sure if that's even possible. Oh, it is! You can use it. I think I was beaten to the punch, which means you can use the next one and actually replace the armor component. Hey, that is really good. So yeah, not only can you go to the higher tiers, so not only can you go to the higher tiers of jetpacks, you don't have to waste materials with your old ones. You can recycle them into the new one. So thank you very much, Tonius11, for a great mod. I think you found that the community has your back on this mod because, well, we're jetpack junkies, and we just can't admit otherwise. So, thank you for joining me on this episode of Mod Guide. As always, I appreciate you spending your time watching my videos. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.